There you go. My hands, magic. So in July, after everything that we had been through up to this point in our journey, I decided that I was going to train my horses a little bit different. And I had been listening to podcasts, including the Equiosity podcast with Alexandra Kurland and Dominique Day. And they had been talking about the book that Alexandra had published called Modern Horse Training. As soon as I heard what was in the book, they started talking about chapters before it was released, and then as soon as it got released, I bought it. And I immediately started reading it. I bought the ebook version and I bought the paper version, and while I was waiting for the paper version to come, I was reading the ebook version. And then in that time, I also stumbled upon some people doing liberty training. So we started doing some liberty training with our positive reinforcement, or constructional training is what it's called in the Modern Horse Training book. The full title of the book is A Constructional Training Guide to Becoming Your Horse's Best Friend. So it's constructional training. And I committed to training this way for 30 days to see what would happen with liberty training, and my reward was to show at a liberty show. So I didn't know anything about liberty, and I didn't know anything about horse training other than what this book had and the podcast I'd listened to and my own experience training other animals. And so this started our journey to really finding the magic in working together. This moment was so big for us. I was so proud because up until this point, when I had asked him to trot, that meant that I was riding him, and usually I was kicking the snot out of him, and that just did not feel okay. So for me to be on the ground next to him and I asked him to trot, those 2 or 3 strides were everything to me. It was opening of a door to a potential future, and I was really excited. So I spent the rest of the training session asking for more trotting, and he did it. He did it 2 or 3 strides at a time, but he kept doing it. He was having so much fun. The month of July in Texas is boiling every day. And so we worked really late at night, like 9 o'clock at night. We ran errands during the day when we could be in the air conditioning in the car. And then we worked really early in the morning before the sun came up, just so we could practice at least every day. When it was too hot to run around and practice, we just practiced grooming. Artie especially loves these grass walks where he gets to trim the grass. I thought this was so funny. He thought he was stuck in the round pen. He doesn't typically mess with the gates, and so he didn't realize that he could have just opened this gate. But the funniest part about this to me is that the other horse, Bill, or George, we call him both, he was inside the round pen too, and he, being a 23-year-old quarter horse, knows how to open and close gates on his own. So it was just going to be him and the mares home for the weekend, so we turned him out, and we packed up and headed 4 hours west of us to show. Before the show started, after I cleaned out his stall, I took Bacardi walking around to get him used to the show environment. And here I'm asking him to back up a little bit for me, walking on lead. Of course, all of the showing is at Liberty, so no lead rope and no halter. I'd really love to get my hands on one of these buckles one day. Lots of really good sponsors. We got our first official show number. And of course there were longhorns. Everywhere I seem to find longhorns. And this was our trail competition. We didn't place in trail, but it was a lot of fun, and he did magnificent, beyond my expectations. We actually ended up placing in 2 of the classes, first and second. I was so thrilled. What a journey.